Good evening, everyone. How you guys doing? I just back from my event and I had dinner and got home, and 11 o'clock is my video time. So today I want to talk about what's going on in the world right now, and it usually take me some time. I would like to say I would like to take some time to contemplating on the situation, instead of like reacting on what's happening. I like to sit with emotions and a kind of dissect the information a little bit, and share the messages, share my realizations with people, with you guys basically. So if I really have to talk about what's going on in the world, and my intention is, instead of put any negativity, and I try to put some positivity to lift the energy up. So here is my realization, or here's my question. Don't get me wrong, I have 2 girls, and they're my life. If you are a mother, if you are a father, if you are a parent, you would do anything to protect your children, right? And my children now, they are young, and I can really, really, really feel those people, the parents who lost their child in the shooting, happened 2 or 3 days ago. But let me ask you a question. First of all, everybody meant to have different perspective for that thing happen in the world, because we are different. So you see things different. So I want you to keep in mind is you cannot have everybody to agree with you or disagree with you. That's just not gonna happen. So for a lot of major social media, the information they put out there, I would like to invite you to, if you watch news, after you watch that, I want you to take a little bit of time to reflect on that and ask yourself, how do I feel like? How's my body telling me? Okay, number 1. Number 2, what it takes for this person to actually do this thing. We are talking about killing, okay? We are talking about shooting. We are talking about violence. A lot of time we won't even be able to harm an animal, or even if we sometime we frustrated, if we accidentally, or if you could not hold your fire, if you spank your kid, you would even feel guilty about that. And I'm talking about shooting, taking people's life away, taking the kid's life away. Now my question is, what is this person going through in his life? Or what he was going through in his life, or what he went through in his life, especially childhood? What is his mental statement when he went out, shoot other people, the kids? I have no idea. But I do know there's something traumatic things that certain triggered him, that he lost control and did the things that he probably not supposed to do, right? Taking people's life. We are talking about taking people's life. But my point is, normally our society, how we value people, good or bad, not saying right or wrong, but we would even judge people if you spank your kid, right? If you're a social worker, if you hear people that spank, or this called physical abuse by the way, if the term wise, in our Chinese culture, my mom spanked me so many times when I was little. I don't think she was physically abused me, by the way, because I probably did something very naughty that made her really mad. And I know I'm a rule breaker. But in the United States, if I spank my daughter, if I tell you guys I spank my daughter, doesn't mean it's true or not, but I'm just saying, if I said I'm angry, I spank my daughter, guess what? You're probably going to take my girls away. So if you know under this social pressure, for someone going to the school shooting however many of kids, I'm just like, because I do healing work, I work with people's trauma, I work with people's childhood trauma. I have no idea what this person went through in his life. I don't. But I feel the sadness, I feel the frustration, I feel the hopeless, I feel helpless, I feel lonely, I feel anger, I feel he was at the lowest of the lowest. And this anger, that hate, that confusion. Maybe I'm just tuning into the energy. And it's something. It's a tragedy for sure. But what we really can take from this, like what kind of questions we can ask ourselves besides parents stand up for their kids. Of course, it's unfair to take children's life from the moms, from the parents, and for those families. But because you are parents, because it's related to this like teenage, it is this younger children, I feel that that's deeper than just shooting, killing all there. It's more than that. It's mental health, it's the childhood trauma, it's how we can support the teenage, how can we support younger kids to be aware and how to seek help when they don't feel good. How? In the last couple months, because for what I went through, I started to kind of have the women's circle, and one of my sisters, she's putting a teenage circle. And the reason we put this together is because as a mom, the early couple years of raising children, there's a lot of frustration, a lot of loneliness, a lot of this disconnection from society. So now my kids, they are both in school. So I want to create this group to support moms. And now I feel called to definitely working with teenagers, working with young kids, working with their childhood trauma to help them, support them. But my question for you is, what you can do to support those group of people? What kind of questions, what kind of support you can give to each other? And if you have younger children, I would invite you to look around your household to see, are we being present with our kids? And how can we support? How can we help our kids to integrate, to understand, or to help them to feel their emotions, to help them to process, to connect with their body, to understand their emotions, to build these muscles and skills to understand themselves, to express whatever emotions in a way that not harm themselves and not harm other people. I think that's would be something we can ask ourselves. I am still processing. And as a mother of 2 little girls, I deeply, deeply feel those parents, those families that lost their babies. Just for those years, being pregnant, being the first couple of years of raising them, that's a lot. A lot of love, a lot of time, a lot of energy, a lot of intention, a lot of protection. But my question is, what we can do individually in our life to prevent such tragedy instead of relying on the government, rely on the policy. It takes a while, but if it's from you, just take 1 second. When you make your mind, you will do things accordingly, right? So why would we rely on the government when we can do the things that we can do? Protect yourself. Teach your kids how to protect themselves. Self-defense class is necessary. How to properly use gun knowledge is very important. And how to deal with emergency situation when it happens. This is all the things that we are protecting our human vessel. This human vessel is very important for our journey, okay? So I love you guys, and hope you guys doing well. And if you are processing some grief, some anger, resentment, self-judgment, guilt, and shame, and you do not know how to release that, feel free to reach out. And the healing practice I own or I do, I support people to process and hold a space for people to process their griefs, and I do theta healing to help people working on those beliefs and old patterns. And if you need extra support to process the grief and sadness, feel free to reach out. And I love you guys, and see you guys soon.